I am on a mission to make over 100 bracelets. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, and today, as you can see, I have a ton of bracelets. I am on the road to making over 100 of these, but in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a couple different types of beaded rubber band bracelets with Rainbow Loom bands and plastic pony beads, including some fun beads like these smiley ones. So there's going to be a few different variations. There's also some Rainbow Loom beadmoji charms. This is part of a bigger series that I'm doing today, Beaded. Next time I'm going to do rubber band charm bracelets, which, hold on. I also have a bag with over 60 of this style, so they'll be coming. I made all of these with this. The AutoLoom, which is a really awesome new invention by Rainbow Loom. Chun himself invented it, and it's been in production for quite a few years. Finally got released, and I've done videos for Rainbow Loom on their channel. This video is not sponsored whatsoever, by the way, but I have done videos with them. I'll put those in the description box below as well, and hopefully you enjoy what I'm doing today and what I do in the near future. I also have some craft kits coming up, which, speaking of, look at all these Rainbow Loom kits I have, which I wanted to use some of the bands. So I've acquired quite a few Rainbow Loom kits and bands over the years, including these, which are mostly from when I lived in Oklahoma at the very beginning. I mean, I have bags of web store special bands that actually are still around, but they don't call them this anymore, I don't believe. And I thought that I was so cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting limited edition Rainbow Loom bands. In addition to these, I also have all these beads, Exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and beyond. So I wanted to make use of everything, do something that was fairly simple and fun at the same time. This whole thing came about because I have been going through a lot of health issues. I won't be talking about that in this video, but I've been really just in bed a lot, low energy, and when I started the nostalgia series a few months ago, and I was going to do a ton of duct tape, which I did end up getting some new rolls from Walmart. So long story short, the duct tape is not happening right now, but the nostalgia series is, because Rainbow Loom is a huge part of the history and the past of SoCraftastic, my origins basically. This is easier to do from my bed than having a bunch of tape and a cutting board and trying to think about the measurements of a wallet and such. So hopefully in the future I will do something duct tape related, and we'll return to that and polymer clay and everything else that I've talked about. But in this video, oh geez. But in this video, we're gonna focus on Rainbow Loom and making these bracelets. Then at some point I'll be doing a video showing you all of these up close and personal, and I'll also be adding pretty much every single bracelet to my online shop. If you didn't know, I have an online shop, a little plug here, www.saralynnt.com. So if you want stickers, stationery, cute apparel, and some handmade stuff coming up, check it out, please. I'll put the link in the description box below. P.S. I have a special box behind me right here. Any guesses on what it is? I'm going to be unboxing it as soon as I possibly can. Next time I'm able to film and edit and everything, I know I'm a little bit slow, but you can look forward to that. Now, without further ado, let me show you how to make a few different types of beaded Rainbow Loom bracelets with rubber bands. This is the first beaded bracelet design, and I'm gonna show you how to make it using an AutoLoom. But before I teach you the beaded version, I want to make sure you're familiar with a plain old fishtail pattern. Using any colors you want, grab the first band and place it in a figure 8 position like this. Go ahead and stretch the second band normally across those same 2 pegs, making sure it doesn't overlap the first band. Then grab a third band and do the same thing, making sure it remains on top. Now it's time to press the trigger, which is this part with the arrow here, and it should pull both sides of the figure 8 band up and over the other 2, as you can see. Push everything down and grab another band. You always want to have 3 layers of bands before moving the bottom one up. Every once in a while, usually if you don't have the bands pushed down enough, the AutoLoom will fail to grab one or both sides of a band This is not a big deal and you can fix it really easily, try again, and move on as normal. For me personally, the AutoLoom is the quickest way to create fishtail bracelets. That's why I'm choosing to use it. But if you don't have one or you don't like them, you can also create this design on a happy loom, a regular rainbow loom, on 2 fingers, or using any other 2-peg type contraption. As I was explaining that, you can see my bracelet gained a lot of length, getting really long here. And now that it's big enough to fit around my wrist, I'm going to finish it off with the closure of my choice, which in this case is an easy clip. This type of clip in particular tends to be more secure than the original C-clip, but I'll talk more about that later in the video. At the current moment, it's time to bring in the pony beads. This is so nostalgic. I used to make stuff with these all the time. You know those beaded geckos? So anyway, I want to make another variation of blue for the bracelet so it matches this AutoLoom. As you can see, I grabbed a small pile of rubber bands. I didn't count them, but you can obviously get more if you don't have enough. And for the beads, I'm going to be using 15 total. 3 of each color I chose. Phoenix. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot, they just all went on the ground. Phoenix, I need those. Wait. 1, 2. Where's the third one? You know, you are so cute, but I feel like you're plotting the demise of everything that is on this table. Why is this all by itself? Can you explain? And clearly, working with a cat present can make this process a bit challenging, but that's okay. Let's prep the beads. For this part, I like to use a special hook, and I'm going to slide 1 bead on, then grab a rubber band and put that at the end of the hook, and transfer that single bead onto the center of the band. If you don't have a hook, that's okay. Simply pinch a rubber band between 2 fingers and thread it into the bead with those fingers like so. Both ways will give you the same exact results. One way just takes a little bit longer, and you can probably guess which one that is, unless maybe you're just more skilled with your fingers than I am, oh my. Okay, so continue this process for every single bead. And after that's complete, set them all aside. Okay, maybe demonstrating on an AutoLoom that matches the band color was not my best idea for teaching purposes. So I'm gonna switch to this pretty orchid colored AutoLoom instead. Now you'll actually be able to see what I'm doing much more clearly, hopefully. And you may be wondering, but Sarah, what about the dang beads? Well, you have to make a decision about something else first. The look of the first loop. That's right. If you happen to like the style of the pink band and the light blue band on this other bracelet, no extra steps will be required. It's kind of just a looped, it's a loop. However, if you prefer the finish of the dark blue bracelet here, let me teach you how I obtained that. Through sacrifice. I know that sounds intense, but seriously. I used what I thought was my least favorite band color at the time. But now that I'm seeing them in a different light, their sparkle really shines through. And I'm being serious, they actually are really pretty, and I feel kind of bad for dissing them. Not to mention decapitating so many of them. The poor things. Luckily for the rest of the sparkling purple family, I have found a new victim. This tutorial turned dark really quickly. Clearance expression bands. This is a no-brainer. When I stretch these bands, they feel kind of flaky, like they're gonna end up falling apart at some point. so I'd probably have to throw them away regardless. This way, at least they get to serve a purpose before ultimately being tossed into the trash. Oh, and speaking of broken bands, how about the Halloween? Oh shoot! I just messed this one up. I'll have to repair this later. Let's address this catastrophe. A clear example of C-clips not doing exactly what they're supposed to do, which is to keep the bracelets together. There is a really simple solution to this though, and that is to switch to an easy clip. Or you could also use a metal jump ring, not demonstrated in this video, but it will be in the next one. When I do get around to listing these beaded bracelets in my online shop, I will have swapped out all the C-clips for easy clips, by the way. This way, they shouldn't randomly fall apart. Okay, now for the full beaded bracelet tutorial. I'm using 2 imposter bands here, or I guess you could also call them ghost bands, because at the end they're going to disappear, just like my most recent ex. Anyway, the first one needs to be added in a figure 8, and the second one gets placed normally across the 2 pegs. Follow that by a single blue, which will be the 3rd band on the AutoLoom, and then go ahead and push the trigger to form the first loop with the bands. After that, I'm going to repeat adding a single band 3 more times, pushing the trigger to form a loop after each individual one. The 5th blue band is going to be the first one with a bead attached, as you can see. Carefully place this on top like so. If the bead falls off, you'll have to put it back on, and then go ahead and loom as you normally would. In between each bead, I'm going to add 2 single bands, one at a time, and after those are looped, of course, another bead will follow. And repeat those steps until all the beads are used up. 2 single bands, 1 beaded, 2 single bands, 1 beaded. And this is just a guide, by the way. You can space the beads further apart if you want to by placing more bands in between for a slightly different look. Also, the size of your wrist will determine how many bands and beads you use total. Regardless, when you get to the end, place at least 3 single bands. I'm adding 2 more of the imposter/ghost pink, but like I said, this is optional. After placing your final band, move everything over to 1 peg, then remove the bracelet from the AutoLoom. I'm carefully taking off the 2 pink bands, then hooking the easy clip to the blue. On the other end, I'm cutting the looped pink band, removing the second one, and finally joining the blue band to the other side of the easy clip like so. So that's it for bracelet design number 1. I'm still going to teach you 2 more. This second design is the most simple one by far. So I barely have to give you directions, but I will say you make a fishtail using any colors of your choice, then grab a few of your favorite beadmoji beads. Now don't worry, if you don't have beadmoji beads, you could also use regular beads with really wide holes. Honestly, I'm not really sure where to get these because most don't have the widest of holes. So if you guys know, leave a comment below for everyone, share the wealth of knowledge. And really all I did though was thread the beads onto the bracelet one at a time using the easy clip as sort of like a needle. And that's it. Join the ends together, of course, and design number 2 is now complete as well. Design number 3, I've been so excited to share this one in particular because, as you can probably tell, it's my favorite by the way I'm talking about it. But I do have to warn you, the process of making this one is a little bit more complex. It's nothing too crazy though. So stick around if you're up for the challenge. I chose some blue smiley beads, and I'm about to create a single chain with rubber bands to display them. This can also be made on an AutoLoom, or not if you'd rather construct it elsewhere. The only difference between the making of the fishtail and the single is to only have 2 bands on the loom at all times instead of 3. See? Be sure to make the chain longer than you need it to be, just in case any beads snap while trying to thread the beads on. Prep the final band by using your fingers or a hook to create a slip knot like this by pulling one loop of the band through the other tightly. Then I like to use a plastic needle to help me string the beads on. You have to keep it really close to the end so the bands are thin enough to accommodate a bead. So you may have to practice this step a few times as it's easy for the needle to accidentally slip off. And also, if you don't have a needle, you can cut the band and try to thread the bead on just one part of it and see if that works. I've tried it and it's broken a lot, but I've gotten it to work. Guide the bead toward the left of the rubber band chain, or I guess if you're left-handed, just basically toward the opposite side, and be as gentle as you can so nothing snaps while doing this step. Now repeat these steps for as many beads as you want featured in the center of your bracelet, pulling one on the chain at a time and making them meet closely in the middle. After I got all 3 of my smileys in a row, I gave this very questionable looking pink part the old snip snip. Now no more faces can join the family. And I'm kicking out another band too. So there's only this one at the end here, which is what we're going to join the fishtail to. For this part, I counted 50 bands total and split them in half equally, so there are 25 on each side. Here's where the AutoLoom comes in yet again. Place one loop of the black band on the left peg and the other loop on the right peg. The most complicated parts have passed because all we're doing here is following the basic fishtail process. 3 layers of bands on the loom at all times until it's time to hook the end with a closure of your choice. I'm using a black C-clip, but this is my official request to Rainbow Loom. Rainbow Loom, please start making black easy clips. I'm gonna email you too. Finally, let's create the second fishtail section to make the bracelet symmetrical. Not much to explain here because the steps are the same as the other side. So here's my opportunity to tell you I put my Amazon affiliate links in the description box if there happen to be any Rainbow Loom products you're interested in adding to your craft collection. Okay, now I'm to the final couple steps. And done. Another bracelet for the bag. Woo! By the way, if you have more color combo suggestions, leave them in the comments section below for me, please, because I'm just under 100 of this kind, but true to the title, I have definitely way over 100 bracelets shown in this video, and I'm going to have many more in the next. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna put my entire Rainbow Loom playlist below, as well as my craft kit testing series. I hope that you all have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye! Cut.